Welcome! Today I'm going to show you my top 10 turn-based strategy games of 2022. This is Sampstra Top, the place to find top strategy games, and let's go! So I can expect a lot of war games and forex strategy games? Well, no. They're excluded from this list because I love war games and forex strategy games, so I'll have separate videos for those. But if you can't wait for war games right now, I actually have a video about top 10 war games that are on sale right now, so you can check those out. But let's begin. Now, video games are so good at relieving anger. You just get so mad and then you beat up 2 game bosses and suddenly you're in a great mood. But the truth is, sometimes you're just so angry that you want to break the moon. Introducing Moonbreaker. Moonbreaker is a turn-based strategy that has tactical skirmish game, and it's designed to be kind of like a true digital miniatures experience. So if you want to have that feeling of moving your digital minis around, this is exactly the kind of game to do that. Now, why is this game a number 10 on the list? Well, let me tell you. It's because this game is meant to be played as multiplayer, so it's online PvP, but I only played as single player, so I can't really rate it fairly among the other games because I only really played the sort of practice single player mode. So that's why I can't rate it fairly, but I had a lot of fun in the single player. The game, each unit has different abilities, and you also have like a special spells or you can use to summon new units or do damage and etc. And the game also has cover, so you have to worry about positioning and etc. And you can even paint your units to different colors if you want. It's a pretty cool game. City Wars Tokyo Reign is a roguelike deck builder. So it's a turn-based combat game with cards, but it has such an unusual mechanic. It's such an interesting game because you have these 2 tracks, and on these tracks you have tiles, and you place your cards on top of these tiles. And what it does, it allows you to shatter your enemy's attacks. So you can essentially destroy the way they attack you, and instead your card will activate. And so it's not just that, I attack and then the enemy attacks, but by placing my attack right, I can actually stop the enemy from hitting me, and it works the other way around. And there are also these really cool tricks that you're able to freeze certain spots on the track and etc. And you also have Power Shield that allows you to protect against them. And it has some like really unique mechanics for a deck builder. It's quite unusual and I enjoy it quite a bit. Now there's a saying, work smart, not hard. And Oaken Fold is a game that represents exactly that. This is a turn-based strategy that focuses on you being smart. Not just straight up hacking, slashing your enemy. No. You gotta be smart about this. Now this is a turn-based tactical positioning game, and the way this works is that the enemies have set attacks. For example, they attack 2 hexes away from them, and your job will be to push and pull them around to make sure that they do not attack you or your precious crates that you need to protect in order to save yourself. The game also has an interesting mechanic which is called Time Scrabble, and it's essentially an infinite undo button. Now, if you enjoy these kind of unusual games that sort of transcend genre, I actually have a video of top 10 strategy games like no other, so you can check that out. There'll be a link in the description. Absolute Tactics Daughters of Mercy. This is a turn-based tactical RPG game. The game has a really cool story, and the way the combat works is like a turn-based combat with a variety of different abilities that your units will have. Each of them is sort of like their own set of abilities. There's also many different items that you can use within combat. You can open up different chests to get some kind of bonuses. There's a lot of healing, and there's some pretty strong enemies. Pretty early on, you'll meet some enemies that are kind of strong. And yeah, if you watch my let's play, you'll know what I mean. In my on my main channel, Sampstra Games. Zora the Pilgrimage of the Sloths is a roguelike deck builder But it's a little bit of a unique, because you have these units that are kind of like running around on this map, and you're using up your food and your water in order to be able to play different cards, like to do different attacks. And if you run out of food and water, you'll obviously take damage because they're starving. So it's a really interesting mechanic, quite different than the typical mana that we see in deck builders. There will also be a variety of different crafting in between combat, which will allow you to craft not only like items, which gives you some passive bonuses, but also actually cards that you can use, which I think is a really cool mechanic of the game. Darkquest, the board game. As the name suggests, this is a roguelike adventure board game, and it plays like a roguelike deck builder, but it does have some positioning in combat. So you're going to have 4 heroes, and you're going to be destroying the enemies who belong to an evil magician who is using up his newly found magic to destroy the world, and you will have to stop him. And the game has 8 heroes total and up to 60 monsters at the moment, and it's currently in early access. Now, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? If you did, you might enjoy Guardian Quest, which is a deck building RPG that is actually inspired by D&D. But it's also putting in some modern gaming concepts like roguelite. Now, a really cool thing about this game is that it actually has 4 different modes. There's a campaign mode, which is focusing on the story. There's a realm mode. You can do adventure mode, which is an endgame mode, and a skirmish mode, which allows you to play against your friend in 1 versus 1. It's a really cool game. Like, I enjoyed this quite a bit when I played this myself. Nemesis Lockdown. Nemesis Lockdown is a digital board game where you're exploring an alien-infested space base and you're just trying to survive. It can be played in single player or a co-op multiplayer, and it's technically a deck builder, but it doesn't play like any deck builder I've ever seen, because you're going to be using your cards to do different actions, like, you know, opening up a computer or moving to different rooms or fighting or etc. And you're going to be getting different, searching for different items and so on. And the game is horror-like, so it can be quite scary at times, and it's very complex. So I can't quite explain this quickly, but it's a really, really cool game. I enjoy this quite a bit. Now, if I'm going to be making a top 10 of my favorite turn-based strategy games of 2022, I can't miss my currently favorite deck builder, Beneath Oresa. Beneath Oresa is an amazing deck builder. Why? Because it's so action-packed. I feel like a lot of deck builders are very abstract, like you feel like out of the action. Beneath Oresa, with their almost cinematic-ish cuts as you're doing different attacks, make you feel really in the action and really in it, which I really, really enjoy. And also some really cool mechanics like counterattacks, and the way companions work is also quite unusual. But I have to say this sentence like 3 times to get it right, because I'm way too excited to form my words correctly. I have never seen another deck builder that would get you this much in the action and this sort of excited about doing the different combats, because you want to see the actions, you want to see the hits, you want to see how the different enemies are going to have their animation. It's just like when you see a new enemy, you get excited in this game, because like, how is that going to portray? It's just the animations and the graphics of this game are like amazing, and it's currently in early access, so I can't wait to see like more of it, because I think it's going to be pretty amazing. Now, after my excitement for the previous game, you might think, which game can top that? Well, Hard West 2, baby. Hard West 2. This is a turn-based tactical game, and it's amazing. So in this game, you're going to take control of a supernatural posse, and you're going to be hunting for a ghost train in this sort of Wild West-like world. And what's really amazing about this game is this mechanic called bravado, which allows you to reactivate all your action points upon an enemy kill, which means you can do these amazingly satisfying chains of enemies. Now, the main reason why I love this game is because it allows me to play the game a bit differently. How? Well, I play this game in a way that in each battle I do not take any damage from enemies, because I figure out a way how to sort of position myself with bravado in a way that the enemies will not hurt me at all. And that is incredibly satisfying. I love games that allow you to play them in such a non-traditional or unusual way. And because it has the bravado mechanic, you can do that. I have a huge amount of guides for this game and also walkthroughs that show you how to do the different areas without taking any damage. So if you're struggling, because this game is hard, so if you're struggling with this game, I can help you with that. And I love this game so much. It is just so good, guys. It's so good. All right, well, if you got this far, you clearly enjoyed the channel, so don't forget to subscribe and let me know in the comments what is your favorite turn-based strategy game of 2022.